So FEIXIAO is the newest character in Honkai Star Rail, and she is able to dish out crazy amounts of damage. In this little clip showcase right here, I'm hitting 170k damage with no light cone equipped, and all of my supports are E0 with the free-to-play light cone. Did you get FEIXIAO and you didn't pick up Robin, but everyone says you need Robin for FEIXIAO? Or you have everything for FEIXIAO, but she is not outputting the damage you wanted her to be doing? Well, Gib here, and I'm here to teach you and help you out on maximizing your FEIXIAO damage, and hopefully you learn something by the end of this video, so make sure to stay to the end, get in all of these tips. Let's get right into it. All right, so starting with the basics here, obviously, you need a good light cone. What is FEIXIAO's light cone options? I don't have all of them, but obviously her signature, going to be the biggest damage increase. You have the free-to-play Hunt to light cone, the Cruising in Stellar Sea, very solid option. You have sword play, you want to make sure you keep hitting the same person. That's going to be a good option as well. Then there's also Doctor Ratio and Topaz's signatures that are also very solid options as well. That's about it that she has. If you want to see like a little guide, I have one in my shorts if you want to go check that out. Now, traces. Everyone always says this, everyone knows this, but I feel like people don't establish this. Traces are very big for characters in HSR. I feel like compared to like other Hoyo games, I feel like traces add a lot. I feel like it's also the reason there's not really a crowning system in HSR compared to the other games. Like, you do have maxing out talents, and you do have like the little orb things, the tracks of destiny when you get to higher tiers, but there's not really like a, oh, you need one material and get to the end, which I enjoy honestly, because it means you can just max out like all the characters. I honestly think getting her talents up is massive. If you're trying to hit max damage, get these up to 10, you know, make sure you have your bonus abilities, make sure you're getting these free crits and the free attack and everything as well. Like, minimum, you should be at 8, but you should be pushing to 10 if you're trying to have your FEIXIAO be a, you know, good DPS character. And that goes for other DPS as well. Now, Relics, she has, you know, Wind Soaring. She can use Pioneer if you have debuffs. You can use a 2-piece, you can use 4-piece follow-up. Inert or Doran for your planars. Just really quick, you know, stuff to review. Now, what type of stats should you be aiming for on a FEIXIAO build to have a good, you know, decent build? If you are on a speed boots, you should be aiming for 2500 plus attack and 134 speed, the usual. And you want to be at 80 plus crit. I don't even have enough crit. I highly recommend going a crit rate body so that you have enough crit. Because if you don't know, a lot of FEIXIAO's teams give her tons of crit damage. March gives 60 crit damage. Mose gives 60 crit damage, or 40, I think. Or like he adds it, something like that. She gives herself crit damage. Robin gives crit damage if you're using Robin. And Topaz is able to give you crit damage if you have vertical investment in her. So there is a lot of crit damage in her teams. So you do not need to build a lot of crit damage, and you need to focus on hitting that crit rate threshold. All right, the first thing I want to talk about for FEIXIAO teams is, what if you don't have Robin? Who can you play? Let me show you to March and Mr. Mose. Now, you may also have Topaz as well, but some people don't have Topaz. In terms of, you know, free to play, you have no juice or anything, or just low budget, you don't have Topaz, you don't have any other 5-star characters to go with her. Your team is most likely always going to be March 7th in Hunt mode and Mose. So, let me get Mose here. I just leveled him up. I just realized, by the way, Mose uses the new weekly boss, GG's. I had this man full pre-farmed. I can't even get his bonus abilities. Unimportant. But, yeah, so your best teammates are going to be Mose and March. Now, if we go up a tier, then you can introduce Topaz. Topaz can be on here, and she is very solid as well. You could have something like March 7th with Topaz, or you could have Mose and Topaz, also works as well. Now, your healer, you want to make sure your healer is going fast. For example, I'm running Locha right here. You probably heard everyone recommend Gallagher, but Gallagher is really fraudulent if you're not against fire weakness. I gotta be honest. I think people glaze Gallagher a little bit too much in that department, and like, he can do everything. If you're not against fire weak enemies when you're playing Gallagher, or just not playing break in general, he falls off I feel like pretty hard, because the healing starts to drop a lot, and he has no sort of like auto cleanse or anything in his kit. But Gallagher is a very solid option. And now, I'm not saying Gallagher's bad. I'm just saying, you know, you might die a lot more with Gallagher compared to if you have another sustain that's just going as, you know, going really fast. Now, for example, I'm running Locha. My Locha, I'm running the basic attack action forward light cone so that he's going, you know, way more times so that my FEIXIAO is getting extra stacks, because FEIXIAO gets more stacks when teammates act. Every 2 acts your teammates make, FEIXIAO gets a stack for her ultimate. And then she also gives herself stacks when she goes and does her follow-ups. So, you know, she's ulting a lot. If you have a good FEIXIAO team, she should be ulting twice per cycle. Unless she's getting delayed or something, I think she should be ulting twice per cycle. So keep that in mind. Oh, also, one more teammate I forgot to mention. Both of the action forwarders are very solid as well. If you do not have Robin, you can have something like Bronya, or you can have something like Sparkle. I don't have Sparkle to show you, but you know, if you have Sparkle, Sparkle can also go there. Let me show you what this run would look like with no Robin and March Topaz. All right, I just want to show an example run without Robin, Event Trainer, any of that. And I'm going to be using Gallagher. I know I was just talking about it, but Gallagher does still get the most turns in terms of a support unit. So you do want to get all those turns for FEIXIAO. So let's get right into it. And hopefully I land some good crits, because my crit rate is at 70. Like I said, I do want it to be higher. And at one thing also, make sure you're getting max on March's technique here. She does have 3, she needs 3 technique activates. You can just double activate FEIXIAO's, or, you know, maybe you have 3 passive on your team, so that also works. So we're gonna go for Shifu right here. We want to get this wolf out of the way because he is going to take up damage from the mark. We're gonna hope that we crit. We did not crit that first follow-up, which is very unfortunate. We definitely want this guy to die here. He might not before we get the mark, which is gonna be unfortunate. But yeah, we're gonna have to have him get hit by the thing, but ideally you wouldn't want the turbulence to hit that. It's only for this MOC, you know, if you're watching this video in the future. So FEIXIAO here. FEIXIAO, before you do her ult, you always want to make sure she has her buff from her skill bonus effect or bonus ability. Gives her 48% attack for 3 turns. You should have that up. She's always going to be doing her skill. So now we have Numby Mark, we have a March extra bonus, you know, we have everything up here. We're gonna go for the ult. Hopefully land our crits. We've seen a lot of crits. And we crit the last hit, 171k, very nice, okay. Now, I did hit that when I didn't have a light cone equipped, but that was a Robin. That just shows you the power of Robin on the team, as you can see. We're gonna go for kill on this guy again. Like I said, you should be able to get 2 ults on your team. If you are running a good FEIXIAO team. If you're not getting 2 ults, you know, you may need some faster units on your team. Like, my March isn't honestly even that good. She could be at 160. She's a little bit off of 160. 160 March is definitely very nice. She does give herself 10 speeds, you know. It's a good thing to keep in mind when you're building your March. I would try to get her up to 160, though, to have, like, the most optimal rotation with her. I think we might be able to sneak in a 3rd ult here, almost, too. We almost get the 3rd ult. That's kind of crazy. Almost snuck in a 3rd ult there. We have Mark on this guy already. So we're going to go for the ult again. Ching, 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 ching. Missed some crits there, and the last hit didn't crit, unfortunately. You need that crit rate, man. You need that crit rate. Like I said, you definitely need that crit rate for sure. Okay, March should finish this. Yep, March finishes this. Pretty solid. Okay. Get our stack from the new wave from starting with technique in the start of the battle. That would have been nice to hit March, but you know. FEIXIAO is CC'd. See, if I had Locha here, I would not have this problem. And Topaz dies. Alright, well, I would want to keep recording a bunch of runs, but, you know, first half clearing 1 cycle, pretty solid. This should take 1 more cycle to clear, you know, without bad RNG, you know, my Topaz getting targeted 10 times in a row. Just wanted to show you how the run could look like. Now, just to compare it, I'm going to show it with a Robin run here as well. Alright, so we have Robin, March here, as usual. Make sure you're doing your double techniques so you can get stacks. And we're going in. Alright, so we're going to go for Shifu here. We're going to wait for Robin so that we can get most damage on March's ult here. Gallagher taking bad damage, okay? We also want to have that Robin ult for sure. We're probably going to still do this Martel 10 right here with just the damage bonus. Should be good enough. Okay, and just hit this with Gallagher. He definitely needs to heal himself up here. And we need some turns for that Robin ult. Almost getting there. Okay, Robin ult coming up. Now with FEIXIAO, you always want to make sure she has her attack buff right away. So like a first turn right here. Also, I know I missed FEIXIAO ult. I just want to show, or her turn, her free turn that she could have got. I just wanted to show Robin ult real quickly. So you also always want to make sure you have your skill buff up. You should have it. It's like, there's no way you don't skill within 3 turns, because this buff lasts for 3 turns for 48% attack boost. You know, just make sure you're skilling on FEIXIAO here so that you have your buff. So we're gonna go for this guy right here. All buffs. And we're gonna hit 210k. Pretty solid there. She was sitting at 73,218, and then if you include her self crit damage and Robin as well, you know, can have even more, like almost 300. So this wolf eye should almost be out of here. Should just be like a follow-up or 2 before we hit this guy.
In the mood for another slice, like my friends?
Indulge yourselves! I know I usually have this, We're on the EN for right now, though. Okay, this follow-up should kill this guy. Nice, okay. And we're gonna go for the ult on this guy here. Shing, 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 shing. Hitting big damage. And then March hits him with the finisher. Pretty close to this finisher right here, I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty close, but we also didn't crit. So, as you can see, versus the Topaz versus Robin, I was able to save a whole cycle. Probably in a whole run, it probably saves like 2 cycles, I would say, having Robin on your team versus not having her. Still the problem of getting CC'd though, which is just resetting, or having better support on your team, you know, maybe a Ho-Ho. Or you just have a Venturine and he gives you extra effect res and that resists it as well. But just wanted to show you some examples on that. Gameplay tips wise, there's not really much to show besides that, you know, make sure you have your Shifu on, make sure you have your buff from her, you know, her skill here, you know. Going into Robin ult, you know, make sure you have all your buffs. You know, pretty straightforward stuff for her DPS. All right, and lastly, I want to show a Bronya showcase here. Now, disclaimer, my Bronya doesn't have the best build. I don't really play Bronya that much. She is at level 7 talents, just to let you know, and I'm missing the last bonus ability, just in terms of like clear speed. But this still gets a 1 cycle clear on the first wave of enemies, showing that Bronya is still, you know, valid option. Doesn't fully close the gap, but definitely helps close the gap here. And there's some scenarios where you can actually hostage FEIXIAO's follow-up so that her follow-up can get the buff from Bronya as well. Unless you just have like a super, you know, super vertically invested in Bronya that has the extra turn on her buff. I think that's at like C6 though, so, you know, I'm assuming most people don't have that.
Step up, let's see us.
So, usual clear here. Alright, get this.
Show me what you can do.
So, we're gonna go for this right here. Alright, now we have Blessing full up. We're gonna go ult here.
I venture forth to hunt. Forever triumphant.
Just get this wolf out of the way. Okay, also gonna Gallagher.
Indulge yourselves!
Now, doing Gallagher right there, as you see, that gave me a buff follow-up, because we would not have been able to get that usual.
The fearless knows not fear.
Awesome. Alright, go to March here.
That's all you got.
Okay. Usual play. Got Bronya ult, pretty big.
We've entered the storm. To guard and defend. Crush them.
Alright, so now we have Bronya ult up as well.
Fangs and claws never
And we should have ult in 1 more turn here. And as usual, wait for Bronya before we do the ult. Okay, so we're gonna go for action forward here, then go for the ult.
I venture forth.
We can ult either one of these guys, but just because we have all this stuff on this guy, we're gonna get him out of here. Alright. Then we're gonna hit this horsey. Okay.
That won't do.
In the mood for
Gallagher
another-
looking a little low, but
Need a shine.
thankfully. And we're gonna save this ult, by the way, for a buff follow-up attack
Show
again.
me what you can do.
So we're gonna go like this.
Hey, too slow.
Awesome.
You gotta die here before we even get to the next turn, though.
There's always a weakness.
Alright.
Lend me your
Going
strength.
for a buff.
Slice like a good, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
Go like this.
Bang,
Okay.
claw. The fearless skill's not
Get our
here.
skill. Just have our follow-ups go through.
Too slow. I venture
And
forth
we're gonna ult here.
forever. Triumphant success. Victory is
And
inevitable.
finish off the horsey. As you can see, still have a solid 1 cycle clear here.